All right, guys, it is almost summertime, and I know most of you guys are trying to get shredded right now, or you're trying to build muscle and burn fat. You just want to get a leaner physique for summertime, and it blows my mind how most of you guys are going in the gym and you're actually doing a ton of exercises that I would classify as taking the slow lane to getting shredded. I want to go through my 5 best exercises to get shredded, to build muscle, burn fat at the same time, and if you prioritize these 5 exercises over pretty much every other exercise on the planet, you're gonna see a lot faster results. And then I'm gonna go through the 5 worst exercises to get shredded. So the first exercise is the barbell squat. Now, if you're trying to get shredded faster, typically the exercises that build the most muscle faster are also the best moves for this. Now, why is that? Because when you're trying to burn more calories every single workout, you want to work out your largest muscle group. So let's think about the barbell squat for a second. It's going to work your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your glutes. Of course, you're hitting some back in there, you're hitting some core for stabilization. So the barbell squat is an incredible exercise because you're working more large muscle groups. You're gonna have a hell of a lot more success getting shredded by prioritizing more sets of squats in your routine than doing more sets of stomach crunches. And I know that's extremely counterintuitive because if you're conscious about the amount of fat on your stomach and your belly area, what do you typically wanna do? You're gonna do cardio, you're gonna do stomach crunches. But doing, say, 10 to 15 intense set of squats every single week, where you're in the 8 to 10 rep range, you're doing some heavy sets, you're doing some higher rep sets in the 12 to even 20 rep range, this is gonna be an incredible workout. In fact, go for 20 to 30 minutes on the barbell squat. Go as hard as you can. Push yourself until failure, and you will be drenched in sweat, way more than if you're doing arm curls, if you're doing stomach crunches, anything like that. So 10 to 15 barbell squat sets at the minimum every single week if you guys are trying to get shredded faster. So we're up to today's notification squad giveaway. Now all you gotta do is comment down below if you plan on shredding anytime in the summer, and you also get 1 bonus entry if you ask me a shredding or fat loss related question, and I'm gonna select 1 lucky person to win the Superhuman Ripped 12-week diet and training program that I'm currently following. So comment down below, looking forward to seeing those shredding questions. Now let's get back to the video. Next up, we got the dumbbell squat jumps. Now, not only is this an incredible exercise if you're trying to jump higher and say dunk a basketball like me, but it is the ultimate shredding exercise because first of all, you're holding a pair of light dumbbells. So when I do this move, I'll go anywhere between 10 and 20-pound dumbbells. Now, second of all, it is a high intensity interval training type move. You're gonna work your fast twitch muscle fibers. It's an anaerobic exercise, which means you're exploding and you're jumping as high as you can. Very similar to a sprint where you're sprinting as fast as you can. You're working out a different muscle fiber type that is going to help you get shredded faster because when you do things like squat jumps and sprints, this different muscle fiber type that you're training, it's gonna help your body secrete more testosterone, more human growth hormone, and it's also going to increase your resting metabolism following the exercise. So it is light years better doing things like squat jumps and sprints when you're trying to get shredded versus doing standard cardio, especially if you're trying to keep your muscle mass. So highly recommend dumbbell squat jumps. I recommend that you go 10 total sets every single week if you're starting off on this exercise, so you can split that up in 2 different workouts. Do it as a finisher, 5 sets at the end of 2 of your workouts every single week. That's all you need to do to speed up your shredding. The third exercise I would rate is the best shredding exercise on the planet, and that is sprints. Now, sprints is the ultimate exercise to get shredded. And I made an entire video on why sprinters are so ripped a couple years ago on the channel. I plan to make another video on sprinting. That is how incredible I think this exercise is. Now, with sprinting, very similar to dumbbell squat jumps, you're working out a different muscle fiber type that's gonna help your body increase your testosterone, your human growth hormone, your resting metabolism. There has been a ton of scientific research that is linked sprinting to increasing the calories you burn after you work out, increasing your testosterone and your human growth hormone. This is not bro science, this is actual science. And I'm gonna say firsthand, whenever I run sprints, I get shredded so much faster. So I'm about to start doing more sprints. And whenever I do sprints, I typically will not do more than 2 to 3 sprint workouts at the absolute max per week. And that is because it's working out a different muscle fiber type that takes a lot longer to recover. So I recommend you do no more than 2 sprinting workouts per week for the first month if you've never done sprints before. And the first 4 sprinting workouts, I don't want you guys to go past 90% speeds. Going 100% all out, the only negative I can say about sprinting is that your body will be more susceptible to getting injured, like pulling your hamstring and pulling your glute muscles. So go slow the first couple times you run them, but once your body is adapted and ready, you don't need to do any more than 6 to 8 total sprints every single workout. The fourth shredding exercise is yet another compound move that I know you guys are not doing enough of, and that is the barbell deadlift. Now, if the barbell squat is the king compound exercise for getting shredded, we'll say the barbell deadlift is the queen, because once again, you're working out so many large muscle groups. You're working out, of course, almost your entire back. You're working out your glutes, your hamstrings, your hip flexors, a little bit of your quads, a little bit of your arms. You could literally list 10 different muscle groups that the barbell deadlift directly or indirectly works. And that means it is not only an incredible muscle building exercise, it's an incredible fat loss exercise. So anytime you're trying to get shredded, once again, don't prioritize stomach crunches and cardio. You need to prioritize the explosive type movements like squat jumps and sprints, and the compound exercises like the squat and the deadlift. So a great fat loss workout is literally just going 5 to 7 sets of the barbell deadlift and going a little bit higher rep range. So instead of trying to hit a PR, go 8 to 12 repetition sets. You will be drenched in sweat. You will feel it in so many more muscle groups than just doing arm curls and stomach crunches like I know most of you guys are doing on your shredding workouts. And the 5th best shredding exercise, I'm just gonna list a few more compound exercises because they're all practically tied with each other, but it'll be things like flat pressing, like dumbbell bench, barbell incline, overhead pressing either with a barbell or dumbbells, barbell rowing or dumbbell rowing. So once again, more compound exercises. You could even throw in dumbbell lunges in there. So the moral of the story is you wanna do more compound exercises and more fast twitch cardio when you're trying to get shredded. And now that we've covered the 5 best, let's get into the 5 worst. Number 1 is stomach crunches. Now, your abs are a muscle, yes. You want to develop your abs as much as possible. I just train my abs every single day for 30 straight days, but do not think that training your abs is going to get you shredded faster. If I had to pick between doing 20 sets of squats and 20 sets of stomach crunches to get shredded fast, guess what I'm gonna pick? Hands down, of course, the 20 sets of squats. This is gonna burn exponentially more calories than those 20 sets of stomach crunches. Number 2 is bicep curls, really any type of direct arm movement. Now, once again, I'm kind of contradicting myself because I'm training my arms every single day, but I'm only spending on most days 5 to say 10 to 12 minutes at the most training my arms. I'm just trying to keep my arm size while I get lean. But once again, it's not an exercise that's gonna really speed up fat loss. It's not an exercise that's gonna get you shredded really quickly. The 3rd one is the treadmill. Now, the treadmill kind of drives me crazy because I see so many people on the treadmill and they're going at a very slow pace and they'll be on there for 45 to 60 minutes, burning like a very small amount of calories, 300, 350, maybe 400 if they do some type of interval. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't have that kind of time on my hands just to burn 300 to 400 calories. When I could do, say, 2 sprinting workouts a week and a couple sets of squat jumps a few times per week and see way more results in like a fraction of the time. So the treadmill is the best way to spend the most amount of time to burn the least amount of calories. So there's nothing wrong with the treadmill. You know, if you just enjoy the treadmill, you watch your favorite TV show, you kind of just unwind on the treadmill, but using it as a core exercise to get shredded, I think is flat out dumb and it's just not a good use of your time. So give me 40 minutes to just do a bunch of barbell squats and deadlifts and some sprints and squat jumps. I'm gonna see way faster results. I'm gonna have better hormones, a better resting metabolism than someone who is spending way too much time on the treadmill. Now, the 4th worst exercise to get shredded is any form of powerlifting where you are in the 1 to 3 rep range and your entire workout is just like 1 to 2 rep max type stuff. Now, if you look at most powerlifters, they are the opposite of shredded. In fact, they are kind of fat They're extremely strong, they have a lot of muscle mass, and their training is a ton of 1 to 5 rep max stuff. Now, I'm a huge believer that you should always get as strong as you possibly can. So I will throw in a few sets every single week where I just push myself and try to say, do a 2 to 3 rep max on the squat and deadlift or the dumbbell bench, the flat bench, but I definitely don't prioritize this. So 80% of your working sets on all those compound exercises, you want to go higher rep range. That's going to help you build more muscle. It's also going to help you get shredded faster. You're going to burn more calories. And number 5, I was running out of ideas. This gives you yet another reason to skip training calves. I'm gonna go any form of calf raises. Obviously calves is a pretty small muscle group, so if you're spending 20, 30 minutes working out your calves, you're not burning a ton of calories. Now, I'm not saying skip calf day and skip training your calves in general, but if you only have so much time to work out every single week and you have to decide between, say, doing 5 sets of squats and 5 sets of calf work, I'm gonna recommend you do the extra 5 sets of squats or the extra 5 sets of deadlift or the extra 5 sprints. There's so many better exercises to speed up fat loss in your entire body than, say, doing calf raises. Now remember, the #1 rule to getting shredded is you must be in a calorie deficit. Now, of course, doing the exercises that I listed in this video is gonna help you burn more calories and make that calorie deficit easier. Of course, you gotta have your diet in check. So I'm currently eating 2,600 to 2,700 calories every single day. If you want some quick math, I recommend you take your body weight and multiply it by 13 or 14 to figure out your shredding calories. Now, a little X factor that I recommend is I take a 2-in-1 fat burning pre-workout called Superhuman Burn. Now, Superhuman Burn has an ingredient that is scientifically proven to help you burn an extra 200 to 300 calories every single day without working out longer or changing anything in your routine. So that may not sound like a lot, but if you do the math, that is 8,000 to 9,000 extra calories that you are burning every single month, which comes out to 2 to 3 pounds of pure fat. So all you gotta do is tap the link down below to try Superhuman Burn. It is delicious and it's gonna help you guys get shredded faster. I recommend it. I take it almost every single day. There's also sample tubs available if you just wanna try it for a few workouts. So all you gotta do is go to elfline.com or tap the link down below, use the code YouTubeFam, and try Superhuman Burn to speed up your shred. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you wanna watch more shredding content, I recommend the playlist I'm gonna throw over here. If you missed my last couple videos, I'm gonna throw them over here, and I will see you guys on the next one.
You ain't got no games. You ain't lift no weights.